Mountains, rainforests, beaches. Quezon Province, with a land area of almost 1 million hectares, has all of these. And all just a few hours south of Manila. Located on the isthmus separating the Bicol Peninsula from Luzon, Quezon Province is bounded by Tayabas Bay on its South China Sea side and Lamon Bay on the Pacific Ocean side. The Sierra Madre mountain range runs along Quezon's northern part, and past them lie the mountain provinces of the Philippines. In contrast to its colorful town festivals, Quezon Province itself has a quiet beauty that is rest for the eyes and the soul. Its rhythms are those of planting, harvesting, of fishing boats going out and coming in, of sunrises and sunsets. An idyllic setting for those who want to get away from the fast pace and blaring noise of the big city. Easily reached by land transport from Manila by taking the South Luzon Tollway and passing through the province of Laguna, the town of Chaong is the main entry point into Quezon. Though Chaong is a small town, it is home to one of the country's most prestigious artists, Augusto Ugu Bigyan, a ceramic artist whose works are patronized by famous people and luxury hotels and resorts. Ugu Bigyan's pottery workshop is a lush oasis of creativity that must be sought out on a visit to Chaong. Also in Chaong stands one of the most well-known destinations in Quezon, Villa Escudero. Owned by one of the Philippines' prominent families, Villa Escudero preserves the rural lifestyle of farmers in the 1800s. In this laid-back atmosphere, one can slow down in a carabao-driven cart and ride through the plantations, being serenaded with folk songs handed down through the centuries. During the heat of the day, a dip in Villa Escudero's man-made falls followed by a hearty meal would be enough to cool one's head. When one yearns to connect more deeply with nature, one can head to Mount Banahaw, Quezon's highest peak at 7,382 feet. An extinct volcano with 3 peaks is famed for its mystical attributes and favored by pilgrims during Holy Week celebrations.
They believe that these mountains, especially the Mount Banahaw, is a living mountain. What I like so much here is the flora and fauna. So when you go inside the forest, and you will see the diversity of plants, animals, even insects.
Mystical and religious sects, as well as local residents, venerate Banahaw as a sacred place. Legends have grown up around the mountain concerning the waters from its spring and its holy places where hermits retreat and meditate on mysteries. Mount San Cristobal stirs mystical fascination. Local stories have branded Banahaw as a good mountain and Cristobal as a devil mountain, their spiritual energies canceling each other out.
You got a good mountain, we have to have a bad mountain, isn't it? They're both good mountains. They support the people here. You know, they most probably get a lot of things from there. The Bangkong Kahoy thing came up, and because of the people actually from Laguna are coming from there, they were coming up here. There's a resting area, which is under a tree, and one of the roots has gone up very high, and it looked like a wooden bench. That's why they call it Bangkong Kahoy.
And if one is looking for a bit of fast-paced excitement, Bangkong Kahoy's hanging bridge and zipline will definitely satisfy. One must first put on a harness to walk across the bridge safely. This is already a thrill ride in itself. Then one transfers the harness to the zipline hanging above the tree cover of the forest, and away we go. Creature comforts and gourmet meals await at the Kinabuhayan Bed and Breakfast back in Dolores. Co-owned by Che Herrera, a well-known production designer for television and film, its two-story huts and dining area have a bohemian wildness, perfect for those seeking a break from the usual hotel experience. Even though it is well-tended, the plants are allowed a bit of overgrowth, and the owner's pet dog and chicken and pig are allowed to run off the place. It is a tamed wilderness.
They place a booking and we are the ones who adjust to them. Yeah, so from foreigners to locals, from mountaineers to those who just want to escape the city, all sorts.
Kinabuhayan is well known amongst foodies for the excellent cuisine whipped up by Che himself. Quezon has a rich history and culture that can be seen as one heads further into the province. The town of Sariaya is home to ancestral houses that bear witness to the prosperity of the owners in the coconut boom during World War I. The Marquez House, also called the White House, was designed by the son of national artist Juan Luna. Its verandas and gables and roof speak of a European influence. There are about 15 surviving houses from this era in Sariaya, most of them located along one street. Just around the corner is the St. Francis of Assisi Church, built in 1748. Although the church is named after St. Francis, the church and the town surrounding it owes the current location to the replica of the crucifix of Santo Cristo de Burgos, a gift from the King of Spain in the 18th century. According to Sariaya oral tradition, the original site of the town and its church was damaged by natural calamities and razed by pirates. When the townsfolk recovered the crucifix from the old church ruins, they began carrying it in search of a new site for the church. However, after taking a rest under a tree, they found the crucifix too heavy to carry once more. So they took it as a sign that the new church was to be built on that location. It is said to be as old as the town itself, over 400 years old. The nearby town of Tayabas is the former capital of the province of Tayabas, which was split into the provinces of Quezon, Aurora, and Marinduque. A town dating back to the Spanish colonial era, its old tribunal is a national historical landmark. The Casa Comunidad de Tayabas is where Hermano Pule was sentenced to death by firing squad for leading the first uprising against the Spaniards based on religious freedom. Tayabas is also home to the second biggest church in the country. The minor Basilica of St. Michael the Archangel was first built in the 16th century by Franciscan monks. It was rebuilt using bricks in the 1600s, but was destroyed in an earthquake a century later. Its current form dates back to the 1800s. Beyond its aged facade, its interior is treasured and well preserved. Tayabas Church boasts the longest aisle walk in the country, with the painted wooden planks overhead serving as its picturesque ceiling. Religious monuments on a larger scale are found in Lukban, known for its early Pahiyas festival, celebrated in thanksgiving to San Isidro Labrador, the patron saint of farmers. Every year on the week of May 15th, certain streets in Lukban town proper are selected as a route through which the images of San Isidro and his wife are paraded in procession with a marching band. The houses along this route are bedecked with ornaments made of kiping, a rice wafer shaped into a leaf, and harvested fruits and vegetables. Sariaya and Tayabas also celebrate this feast day in their own way, with the Agawan and Mayohan respectively. Although Lukban's fiesta is in honor of San Isidro, its church is dedicated to San Luis Obispo. Lukban Church was originally built in 1595. A second structure built after 50 years later was damaged by fire. The church building was completed in 1738 and its exterior is preserved in its weathered state. Aside from the town's church, a few kilometers amidst coconut plantations is the Kamay ni Jesus Via Dolorosa Grotto and Healing Church. Visualized by Father Joey Falier as a place where the physically and spiritually weak could feel and experience the presence of God, the church building is dwarfed by the steep hill behind it and the 50-foot statue of the ascending Christ atop it. It is the third largest Christ statue in the world, reached by a climbing hill past 14 stations of the cross. Devotees and pilgrims climb the steps past these stations as part of a pledge to God. It is claimed that pilgrims who are praying for healing will be granted their request upon reaching the top of the steps. Though the climb is grueling, the view from the crest is worth every one of the 292 steps to get there. Surely after a strenuous climb, one would be in search of refreshment. When hunger strikes, head back into Lukban proper for some pansit habhab. This dish is served in palm-sized portions on banana leaves to be slurped by the mouth. As a seat of the provincial government since 1901, Lucena is home to public agencies and offices and is a major thoroughfare for land transport from all points in Luzon. Many historical relics about the province and its most well-known son are kept at the old hospital building, which dates back to 1924 and survived World War II. Quezon Province was named after Manuel L. Quezon, who became President of the Philippines during the American occupation in the early 20th century. During his term, he instated Filipino as the national language of the country and is known as the father of the Filipino language. With its close proximity to Manila, Lucena draws many conventions and company team-building activities. The hotels in the city are equipped to cater to the needs of the urban traveler. But for a real getaway, one has to set a course for ageless shorelines where time stands still. Home to resorts ranging from the simple beach to the fully developed resort. The best time to frequent the shores of Quezon would be during the dry season, where the waves are mild and the water is at a comfortable temperature. At Silang Nayon, watch the sun rise over the Pacific Ocean and enjoy a simple yet delicious meal in a hut on stilts over the water. Or if exclusivity is what one is looking for, Pueblo por la Playa's Mexican-inspired architecture and well-kept cool and developed beach takes you a world away. From these resorts, it is only a short boat ride to the mangrove experimental forest. Alternatively, one can get there by land transport from the town of Pagbilao. In 1975, the mangrove forest was declared a protected area, allowing both the mangroves and animal species dependent on them to flourish.
Maraming importance ang mangrove. Una-una, siya yung nagsisilbing spawning ground, tinatawag nating nursery of the sea, o yung tinatawag na pangitlogan ng mga laman dagat. Pangalawa, isa rin siya nakakatulong na magsangga sa mga malalakas na unos, like yung malalakas na bagyo, malalakas na alon. Siguro, huwag namang mangyari kung nakarating ang tsunami, ay malaking panangga yung ating mangrove forest. Tayo magtulong-tulong sa pag-aalaga, pagkukonserba, at kung pwede ay tumulong pa rin tayo sa pagde-develop ng ating coastal areas. Kasi talaga pong napakahalagang ecosystem itong ating bakawanan, itong ating mangrove.
For the true nature lover, there is no better place to go than the Quezon National Forest Park. Located on the boundary between Pagbilao, Atimonan, and Padre Burgos, the park is a game refuge and bird sanctuary accessed by a mountain road famous for its hairpin bends. Eme Road is composed not only just of one or two, but three hairpin bends on top of each other. The road is so steep and sharply curved that vehicles may only pass one at a time, requiring volunteers to direct traffic going up and down the mountain slope. The national park is known for a magnetic anomaly within the mountain. At the marker for kilometer 155, if one puts their vehicle into neutral, one feels as if they are rolling uphill when the road appears downhill. At the view deck atop Eme Road, one can see Pagbilao Bay, Patayan Island, and Lucena City on a clear day. But if one wants to find a higher vantage point, the national park contains a ridge of massive limestone formations, the highest peak of which is Pinagbanderahan at 1,600 feet above sea level. The trail begins only a few meters walk past the rest area near the boundary between Pagbilao and Atimonan. One can hike the trail up to the peak in 2 hours, passing rockfalls and caves like the Cueva Santa. Scaling Pinagbanderahan would be best done in the summer or during the dry months, as the slopes become slippery when wet, and only plants and roots remaining as hand and footholds. At one point, one may be between a cliff wall on their right side and a sheer vertical drop on their left. But all the effort required to summit Pinagbanderahan is rewarded by the view atop the peak. From that vantage point, a 360-degree view of Quezon province stretches across the horizon. Quezon, in all its natural splendor, is laid bare for the eye to behold. Atimonan is a coastal town on the shores of Lamon Bay in the Pacific, and its underwater wonders are not to be missed. Real Quezon is a gateway to the islands of Quezon, Quezon's major port, with tons of seafood and fish passing through it on the way to mainland Luzon. One of Real's natural wonders, which must be seen, is the Balagbag Falls. Even from some distance away, one can hear the roar of the waters as they cascade 100 feet down a mountain. From Real, one sails past the private resort island of Baluti, and then fishing boats serve as occasional companions on the trip. Upon arrival at the port of Polillo about 3 hours later, the cargoes are unloaded and passengers disembark in the same area. There are two major towns in the island of Polillo: the town proper, also named Polillo on the west coast of the island, and Bordeos on the east coast. Bordeos is a jump-off point to the outlying islands where the pearl farms and bird sanctuaries are located. Though there is a resort hotel in the main town of Polillo and the island's generator provides electricity, the main charm of the island can be seen by taking dusty roads in hired jeepneys. Laya Falls, partly harnessed as a water source for the island's dwellers, is a favorite place for families to gather, bathe, and picnic. It is said to be enchanted, home to dwarves. A curious destination in Polillo is a product of abandoned industry. This isolated beach with its tidal pools and large rocks was the site of a coal mining port. Now all that is left are the large concrete structures from the port, a man-made intrusion into nature. When the sun sinks below the horizon, one feels a world away from the big city. White sand beaches are just a boat ride away with many small islands to choose from. Transit to these islands is through chartering a fishing boat or, for those with deep pockets, a helicopter. Balisin Island is a private resort renowned for its crystal clear waters and fine white sand. Access to the island is limited to the members of this exclusive community. Its residents, however, are free to enjoy the clear, cool water surrounding the island and to taste the bounty of the island's coconuts. Inquiring among the locals, one may just find an unspoiled paradise waiting to be discovered. Quezon, from the mainland to its islands, allows one to breathe within its cool leafy canopy, wide open vistas, and mountain peaks where one can be in solitude. Quezon is the ultimate green getaway.